What's happening, guys? Safety Liner C2 here. I want to try something out. I want to try it. I'm not saying it's going to stick, but I want to try it. Now, you guys got to let me know how this works, though, because I just want to try it. Now, ever since I've started doing Question of the Month, I have read every single comment that is relevant to the video that I am doing. But over the past maybe year and a half or 2 years maybe, some of these videos are just really, really long to make, and I'll spend at least, sometimes an hour just recording stuff, which takes a long time editing too. So for example, last month's Question of the Month, I was trying to speed it up because we were on a time limit, and it still ended up being 37 minutes because I got 70 something comments or something. So here is what I am proposing. I'm just going to read, say, 10 of the top comments, just random comments or something that I think stands out, maybe just a couple random ones, just whatever. That way it'll give me a chance to actually talk about it and give my specific opinions about that person's comment and what I agree with, what I disagree with, and you know where I'm going with this. Now, everyone else who would not get shouted out would get put on the screen like I did right here. And that would be that. If I specifically addressed your comment in a video, I would try to not address your comment in the next video so that everyone still has a fair chance of being shouted out and having their comment talked about. So I'm going to try that this video. If you guys like it, let me know in the comments so that I know whether I should stick with this or I should go back. Or maybe if you have your own idea, I'm always willing to listen to it. Anyways, with that, let's read some of the comments. Joe said, growing up, we had a 95 Wayne Lifestar that they converted into a band bus to haul all the band equipment. When the football field was being redone one year, we had to use a rival school's field for home games. The district would send 2 buses for the football team, a cheerleader bus, 2 buses for the band, a band bus, a lift bus for the gear, and the district excursion that towed the band's golf cart. The golf cart was used to pull the band equipment onto the field. They have since sold off the band bus as well as made a bus into a dump truck. They still have the 90s Wayne 3800 wrecker. As for where I work now, we just load the band equipment onto a regular bus. We don't have a football team. As for storage, we use 2 old junk buses for storage. Now, I don't know if some of you guys have seen pictures of this specific bus that Joe is talking about, this Lifestar. But if I recall correctly, they went all out with this bus. They ended up painting it green and putting some new side lettering on and everything, and really re-gave this bus purpose, I guess. I don't remember how much I ended up talking about it in the last video, but what he's saying with all of these different buses going for the football games is kind of like how my district in Texas did. So we would have 6 band buses, we would have a dance bus, we would have a cheer bus, we would have, 2 or 3 football buses, we would have a couple box trucks, and occasionally there would even be a student section bus. So having all of these buses go just to one specific location, for me as a bus enthusiast, when I would go to the football games, it was really cool seeing all of these buses from not only our school, but from the rival school, because they would, whatever rival school we would face, they'd always have generally about the same amount of buses, so it was always pretty nice seeing a bunch of them. Ross, on the other hand, says we don't have any equipment buses as our mechanics are assigned a F-250 truck with utility beds on them. To me, I've always found that weird, and maybe that's just because I've always lived in bigger districts, and, for a smaller district, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I could never see myself, with that just because, there were no buses there or anything. But even where I'm at now, when my brothers go to football games or whatever, there are a much smaller amount of buses, and there are a couple district vehicles like that. I think there's a Silverado that they have a trailer with that they bring around, if I'm not mistaken. So that, that's fine. I guess it really just depends on the district size. Garrett says, sometimes for our marching band shows, we would use and travel on the C2 Shorty Handies. It helped a lot with the percussion equipment, and with loading and unloading, it is a plus. The only bus with AC at Monroeville Schools in Huron County, Ohio. See, to me, that's what makes more sense for smaller districts to do instead of having the trailers or the F-250s like what was previously mentioned. But then again, some districts might not have any short handy buses. Steven says, we don't have any buses designated for equipment or sports. We normally just use a bus with understorage, normally 101 or 102, 2002 Bluebird All-Americans, or 115 Thomas C2. Now, I don't know how many other buses you have with understorage, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say that those are designated trip buses, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that under this sports category too, but, Now, I think having understorage on the bus is a pretty common theme if your district has designated trip buses. That is, so there's not another bus tagging along or a trailer or anything like that. Caleb says, first off, I hate first student. I'm glad you agree. But my district doesn't have any equipment buses. The Alton School District has an enclosed trailer that they use for their football team, and a big semi-trailer and long enclosed trailer they use for the high school's Marching 100 marching band. Now, this wasn't used by the teams, but when we had first student on Laidlaw, we actually had a shop bus that the mechanics kept tools in and responded to when a bus broke down. I believe it was an older 2000 Chevy Thomas Minotaur. We now have Illinois Central School Bus, North America Central School Bus, and our shop truck is a 2013 or older Chevy 2500 HD. Now, this is another implementation that I've actually seen with my own eyes before. Obviously not having buses, but instead have semi-trucks and trailers. That's for larger districts. This implementation was actually used by a neighboring district when we were in Texas. But obviously you have to have a lot of money for something like this, and for a lot of the smaller districts it probably is going to be a little more cost efficient to just tear apart a bus or to rather take out the seats of a bus and just, put everything in there. ICCE83 said, pretty much every bus in my district, including the handies, have understorage, but we do not have selective buses for sports. The baseball team uses bus 244, a 17 CE. The football team uses 198, an 06 C2, and the basketball and volleyball teams use 221, a 2011 Vision. Our janitorial department uses one of our old 97 Minotaurs. Bus 66, which used to be 166, was converted fully into a utility van. The whole inside has tool benches and an area to hold large equipment. So specifically focusing on the last part, and I guess I should have talked about this in Caleb's comment as well, but I think having a fully functioning mobile tool bus, if you will, is a great idea. One thing that I've seen myself actually, and I'll throw a picture on screen if I can find it, but there was a Crown Super Coach, if I'm not mistaken, and since the Super Coaches have engines in the middle of the bus, the whole back of the bus has essentially a trunk, and someone put a pretty large, toolbox set back there, and I think it was a great implementation for that space. Zeke the Freak said, our high school usually has a little pickup truck and trailer for sports events. We use 5 buses for sports, 5, 8, 9, 16, and 32. This is probably a smaller district, and I think it's good that there are designated sports buses, and if I had to take a guess, some of them are probably older, more specifically the single-digit numbers, but I could be wrong. Bus 93 said, we don't have equipment buses, but we do have equipment pickup trucks and school vans and sedans. Similarly, Jesus says, I don't believe our district has any. All we have is the mechanics trucks with any equipment the bus needs. Other than that, not really. Okay, now I'm going to give you a pass there if they're just normal vans, maybe like the district logo on the side or something, but if they say like school bus on the top or anything stupid like that, then I can't do it. I just can't do that. Don't get me started on that. And last but not least, Parker said the district I drive for, whichever bus gets to the pickup location last is the designated equipment bus, but since I have a heavy foot, it's never me. I don't think that's the best way to choose an equipment bus. There should probably be a designated one, but hey, if it works, it works. Obviously, if the bus has understorage, maybe it should be a designated bus. Or if, obviously some of the seats are taken out or something like that, or if it has a lift or whatever, that should be the bus, not just, whatever bus arrives last. Alright, thank you to everyone who commented. Again, here is a list of people who were not shouted out but did comment something relevant to the video. Thank you to everyone who commented though. So let's go ahead and move on with this month's question of the month, which is the same question every September for a while now. What did your district get? Now I'm sure some of you are unfortunately going to have the answer like me, nothing. I was driving around one day shortly after school started, and I saw a bus that I thought had a piece of paper in the window that said it like 603 or 613 or something like that. The last set of buses that were bought were in the 500s, so obviously, when I saw a 600 in the window, I thought, oh, perfect, new buses. But I also remember reading something specifically for our district. After 12 years, it is either made a sub or it's retired and replaced. I think the oldest buses that are still in use on a regular route are either 2009 or 2010s, so probably nothing for a little bit. Alright, and there we go. That is question of the month. Again, let me know if you like this new format or if you think I should, go back to doing it how I've always done it. Go ahead and leave me some feedback. I'm definitely interested in hearing what you're saying. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe or right down here, it's magical red button that says you are not subscribed to Safety Liner C2. Make sure you comment up here, down here, over here, or over here. I don't know where they put it, down in here where they put it. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up, or I'm never going to shout anyone out ever again. And make sure you also share this video with a friend, show it to your mom, show it to your dad, show it to a guy on a random street. I don't care, don't get raped. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching.